I'm 54 years old, and I could say only now and only for a short time what I'm about to say, because only for a short time has it applied, and almost all of my life, up until I'm 54 years old, it did not apply whatsoever at all. And I want you to know that at 54 years old, I considered to suddenly come to the realization that I was having a tangible relationship with God, and it was for the first time, literally, a tangible relationship where it was unmistakable, and it's been just a short time that I could claim it, and I'm saying it now. So what I'm saying is I have a tangible relationship with God. We talk, and He tells me stuff, and there's a detailed, specific way that I speak with Him. It's actually a procedure that is called authentication, which means that you can't not authenticate the information that God is going to tell you, and if God's going to talk to you, you have to be able to authenticate every word. It's not about reading what He's trying to tell you over the radio or authenticating a message on the radio that you're listening to. If you're trying to get information, if you're trying to talk to God, you have to authenticate everything. In fact, if you can't say it's tangible and you could actually hear Him and you've authenticated it, then you have to say that there is no God, or at least He wasn't there. To have a faith-based relationship with God is utterly awesome if it's not utterly just ridiculous, because ultimately if you're praying to a wall or a tree or just in your mind, and ultimately you can pretend a relationship with God, and there is no tangible relationship if I don't accept it. I just can't. I understand that I have to hear God speak to me or feel Him, know Him. I have to hear each word. I have to absolutely verify that He's with me or I'm listening to Him. And otherwise, I can't agree that He's said anything or I've heard anything or there's even any kind of authentication taking place. And I've learned how to authenticate information coming from God. And I have to authenticate everything He tells me. It's a procedure that takes time. And ultimately, it's unbelievable to think that people would actually attempt to talk to God and not demand authentication, and the actual procedures is not easy at first. So yeah, because there's too many spirits in your head telling you a lot of different stuff, and you have to be able to know the entity you're talking to, and be able to guarantee that it's not a mixture of entities or even one talking over another. And if you interpret feelings or information or even what's intangible, then it is an interpretation. And to interpret an intangible position or occurrence or event is utterly ridiculous. To interpret an intangible event, think about it. To interpret what God's telling you in a faith-based relationship with God is an intangible event, meaning that you're just guessing whatever you think He's saying, or you're telling Him, or He said to you, and ultimately you don't even know if the relationship's even taking place. You're just having faith it is, and ultimately what if it's not? And so if it is, what if it's not? How can you authenticate what God's telling you? How do you know it's really Him? If your relationship with Him is not tangible, then you can't agree to think that you know that He's even there, and you have to. It's your responsibility to say He's not. I can't see Him or hear Him, then He's not here. If He is here, then I can have to. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, to have a tangible relationship with God, I didn't expect it would happen. I didn't absolutely think it would ever happen. And when it did, I was shocked and in disbelief and excited and glad and ultimately amazed, and I didn't expect it. Utterly surprised and shocked by it, because I thought God was never going to talk to me, and I wasn't going to have a faith-based relationship with Him, because I'm not going to just imagine that He must be there, even if I'll never have a witness. We need a witness. If you agree that there does not have to be a witness, then you agree that pretending a relationship with God is possible, and let's not let it be.